welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling a really interesting puzzle. How to prepare a gym for sale and, well, more importantly, how to seriously boost its value.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Whether you're a gym owner, maybe eyeing a future exit, or someone just wanting to make your current operations stronger, or even if you're just fascinated by the business side of fitness, we've got a fantastic blueprint.
We do. It's this white paper, Preparing Your Gym for Sale and Maximizing Its Value. Comes from jthomas, who's a real veteran in the gym business world.
Right, and this isn't just, abstract theory.
No, definitely not. Think of this as a kind of shortcut. We're diving into Thomas's strategic guide to pull out those crucial moves, the things that really impact what your gym is worth.
So our mission today,
It's really to understand what makes buyers tick, what actually drives up that valuation number, and crucially, the concrete steps you can take, like right now, to make a difference.
okay, let's unpack this then. The white paper kicks off with something that, well, it might seem obvious, but it's absolutely key. Knowing your gym's current value before you make any big decision. Why is getting a handle on your worth right out of the gate so vital?
Well, it's fascinating because understanding your gym's real worth isn't just about having a number floating around in your head. It's the foundation for any smart planning.
Okay.
Thomas really hammers this home. Get professional evaluation. And not just someone who lives and breathes the gym industry.
Right. Someone who gets the specifics.
Exactly. They'll dig into the nitty-gritty, your EBITDA, which is basically your operating profit before certain deductions, your different income streams, how much your equipment's depreciated, how you stack up against similar gyms nearby, the comparables, and even the fine print of your lease, all of it.
Right, because it's definitely not just about how many members walk through the door, is it? There's a much deeper financial picture there.
For sure.
The white paper also mentions benchmarking locally. What exactly does that involve, and why should you, bother?
All right, think of local benchmarking as your market reality check.
Reality check.
It means looking at actual recent sales. Gyms in your specific area, similar to yours, what did they really sell for? What were their key metrics?
So real-world data.
Precisely. It gives you a solid anchor for your expectations, something concrete to compare against that professional valuation you got.
Makes sense.
And, by the way, when you're looking at those comps, don't just look at the final price. Pay attention to the multiples.
Multiples of what? Revenue? Profit?
Yeah, multiples of revenue, or EBITDA usually. That gives you a much smarter way to understand market values beyond just, the raw dollar figure.
Got it. And then there's this idea of a gap analysis.
Yeah.
Sounds a bit like detective work for your business. What's the goal there?
Well, it raises an important question, doesn't it? How do you know where to focus your energy if you don't know how you actually measure up?
True.
So a gap analysis is basically comparing your gym's current performance think metrics like member retention, average revenue per member, maybe even utility costs against industry benchmarks for gyms like yours.
And finding those gaps?
It isn't about feeling bad. It's about pinpointing the specific areas where, targeted improvements can make your gym way more attractive to buyers and ultimately boost that sale price.
So it's like finding those hidden opportunities to make more money before you even think about selling.
Exactly.
And the pro tip in the white paper says a pre-sale valuation can actually uncover some low-hanging fruit. What kind of easy wins are we talking about?
Oh, absolutely. Often, a fresh pair of eyes from a professional appraiser spots things you might miss. Relatively simple fixes that can have a surprisingly big impact on value.
Like what?
Maybe your membership fees haven't kept pace with the market for years. Or perhaps a small, visible upgrade like, say, new screens on your most popular treadmills could significantly boost the perceived value.
Things that don't cost a fortune but make a difference.
That's the low-hanging fruit. Changes that don't need a massive overhaul but can lead to a noticeably higher sale price. Makes perfect sense.
Okay, let's shift gears to the financial heart of things. Thomas is pretty blunt. Messy books are a red flag. Why do clean, transparent financials make such a massive difference to a potential buyer?
Well, just put yourself in the buyer's shoes for a second.
Okay.
They're about to make a huge investment. They need absolute confidence in the gym's financial health, its future potential. Messy or incomplete books, that just breeds uncertainty.
Raises suspicions.
Immediately. Makes it hard to assess true profitability, makes them worry about hidden skeletons in the closet. Clean, accurate financials, though. That builds trust, gives the buyer peace of mind. They know what they're getting.
And buyers look closely at recurring revenue,
Yeah.
the stickiness.
Oh, definitely. How much of that revenue is truly predictable? If your bookkeeping is inconsistent, it makes them question that predictability, and they'll discount the price. We've seen it happen, gyms losing serious value just because expenses were poorly categorized, making it hard to see the real profit.
Wow. Okay, so what are the key actions the white paper recommends for scrubbing those financials until they shine?
First step, get everything organized. Income statements, balance sheets, tax returns, not just up to date, but ideally looked over by a CPA.
A professional eye.
Absolutely. Second, Jim Thomas really stresses keeping personal and business finances totally separate. Critically important.
No blurred lines?
None. When they're blurred, it's almost impossible to see the gym's actual profitability. And finally, clearly categorize all your revenue streams.
Break it down.
Yep. Memberships, personal training, retail, maybe classes, whatever. It gives a much clearer picture of where the money's coming from.
So the bottom line here, according to the white paper, is crystal clear. Financial transparency is a top driver of buyer interest and ultimately valuation.
Hard to argue with that.
Right. Now let's talk about the lifeblood of any gym, the members. Why do buyers put such a high premium on a strong, loyal membership base?
Well, as Jim Thomas points out, what buyers are really after is predictable, recurring income.
The holy grail.
Pretty much. A solid membership base, especially with lots of members on EFT, electronic funds transfer, those automatic monthly payments gives them exactly that stability.
Shows reliability.
Exactly. It shows a dependable revenue stream coming in month after month. That significantly lowers the perceived risk for the buyer. At the end of the day, it's that steady, reliable cash flow they want to see.
Okay. And what are some specific strategies the white paper suggests? Not just for keeping current members happy, but also for bringing in new ones to strengthen that base.
For retention, the focus has got to be on creating a really great experience.
More than just equipment.
Oh, yeah. Personalized attention, fostering a real sense of community, rewarding loyalty maybe through referral programs or little perks.
And for growth.
For attracting new members, Jim Thomas suggests growing smart. Think targeted, shorter-term marketing pushes. Those popular 6-week transformation challenges work well. Or maybe incentivize current members to bring friends.
Smart. Anything else?
He also recommends looking at tiered membership options.
Like what?
Maybe a lower-priced off-peak membership, family plans, or even more premium packages with extra benefits.
Catering to different needs.
Exactly. And here's a surprising insight. Even if only a small percentage take up premium add-ons like specialized coaching or recovery services, it can seriously boost your average revenue per member.
Ah, another key metric buyers look at.
Definitely. Plus, it shows you're innovative and can attract higher-paying clients.
That makes a lot of sense, offering more tailored options. And the key metric here is that a rising, stable EFT base directly lifts those valuation multiples.
That's the takeaway. The more reliable your monthly income, the more valuable your gym looks to a buyer.
Okay, let's switch gears. Let's talk about the physical space itself. The white paper really stresses that those first impressions stick.
Oh, absolutely. Jim Thomas is clear. The way your gym looks and feels. It speaks volumes about its underlying value.
So appearance matters a lot.
Hugely. A well-maintained, aesthetically pleasing facility sends a strong signal. It tells buyers the business is cared for, professionally managed.
Like a turnkey operation.
Exactly that. Imagine a buyer walks in and sees great equipment, fresh paint, organized systems. They can basically just take over without facing a long list of immediate repairs or upgrades.
Less risk, higher offer.
That's the equation.
So what are the key areas to focus on when sprucing up the facility to maximize that appeal?
The paper advises prioritizing upgrades on those high-traffic machines that are visibly showing their age, the ones everyone uses.
Get the most bang for your buck there.
Right. Investing there makes a tangible difference. Then there's the absolute must-do, a thorough clean and refresh.
Deep clean.
Deep, professional clean, touching up worn paint, maybe small but impactful updates, new flooring in key spots, better lighting. It can dramatically change the atmosphere.
And layout.
Yeah. Optimizing the layout. Think better flow, open sight lines, less clutter. Clearly defining those popular functional training zones helps too.
It's all about creating a space that feels current, well cared for, inviting.
Spot on.
And the value bump mentioned is that buyers strongly prefer turnkey. What does that really mean in this context, selling a gym?
So turnkey here means a business a buyer can step into and run smoothly from day one. No need to sink a bunch more capital into immediate repairs or upgrades.
They don't want extra headaches right after closing.
Exactly. They don't want to buy it and then face a long to-do list of essential renovations or equipment replacements. A gym that looks turnkey, it minimizes those worries, makes it a much more attractive, less risky investment.
Right. Get straight to running the business.
Yeah.
Okay, moving beyond the physical space and the members,
Mm.
the white paper highlights documenting your day-to-day operations. This might not sound glamorous,
Ha, no, maybe not glamorous.
but why is it such a critical piece of the puzzle?
Well, what's fascinating here is that solid documentation transforms your gym. It goes from being something that relies heavily on you personally to being a truly independent business asset.
Less owner-dependent.
Precisely. Buyers usually aren't looking to buy themselves another job where they have to micromanage everything. They want proof the gym has systems, procedures, and can run efficiently without the original owner constantly looking over its shoulder.
Okay, so what specific types of documentation should owners focus on?
Jim Thomas outlines several key areas. First, clear, written, standard operating procedures, SOPs, for all your routine stuff.
Like what kind of stuff?
How the front desk handles check-ins, guest passes, your sales process, equipment maintenance schedules, you name it.
Got it. What else?
Second, clear documentation of your staff structure. Up-to-date org charts, detailed job descriptions outlining who does what, even typical shift schedules.
Clarity on roles.
Yes. And third, make sure all your vendor contracts, cleaning, maintenance, music licensing, whatever, are current, and this is crucial, transferable to a new owner without major roadblocks.
Transferable contracts. Key
Yeah.
point.
Huge. And think of it all bundled together as a gym playbook. Could be a binder, could be digital. It's the comprehensive guide for the new owner. A roadmap for running the business from day one.
Like an owner's manual for the gym. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, an SOP for member check-in, for instance, might have step-by-step instructions. Greeting members, verifying membership in your software, handling guests and waivers, even common questions. That level of detail.
Okay, very thorough. Let's move on to something that's always moving. Marketing and branding. The white paper states, perception creates value. How does that apply when you're looking to sell?
Well, in today's market, a strong brand and effective marketing are just crucial, not just for members, but for buyers too.
Makes sense.
A gym with a positive reputation online and locally is inherently more valuable. Buyers want to see you have a consistent way to generate leads and a solid, respected brand name.
So what are some tangible steps the white paper suggests for optimizing marketing and branding before a sale?
Jim Thomas hit several key points. First, modernize your website. That's non-negotiable.
Mobile-friendly, easy to use.
Yes, mobile-friendly, easy navigation, feature real member testimonials prominently, clear calls to action, book a free trial, that kind of thing.
Okay. What else?
Building social proof is vital. Actively encourage and showcase those positive Google reviews. Share inspiring member transformation stories on social media, maybe even short video testimonials on your site.
Real people, real results.
Exactly. It boosts credibility massively. And finally, the paper recommends developing a 12-month marketing calendar.
Planning ahead.
Right. It shows buyers you have a proactive, consistent strategy for attracting and keeping members, not just, reacting randomly.
So you have a plan.
Yeah.
So it's about demonstrating a track record of success and a clear path forward for growth.
Precisely.
And the digital ROI is pretty clear. Strong brand, steady lead flow equals higher value.
Absolutely pumps it up.
Now, let's talk about making the business more resilient. The white paper emphasizes diversifying revenue streams. Why is that so attractive to buyers?
Buyers naturally prefer businesses that aren't, putting all their eggs in one basket, like relying only on monthly membership fees.
Spreading the risk.
Exactly. Having diverse income sources shows you've explored multiple ways to make money, and importantly, that there's potential for more growth in those areas. This revenue resilience makes the business less vulnerable if one stream slows down, lowers buyer risk, increases their confidence.
Okay, so what are some concrete examples the white paper gives for how a gym can diversify effectively?
Jim Thomas gives several practical ones. Think about strategically upselling personal training. Create attractive packages, maybe bundle assessments, goal setting, even some nutrition guidance.
That is more value.
Right. Expand retail beyond just t-shirts. Offer healthy snacks, drinks, popular supplements. That can become a significant side income.
Makes sense. What about programming?
Introduce specialized programming. Popular stuff like boxing or yoga workshops, HIIT boot camps, maybe niche classes for specific groups, attracts new market segments.
Tapping into trends.
Yeah. And finally, actively go after corporate wellness contracts with local businesses. That can provide a stable, recurring revenue stream that's often less affected by individual member churn.
Those all sound like smart ways to build a more financially solid business. Okay, let's tackle something critical, often overlooked, but potentially huge for a sale.
Yeah.
The lease agreement.
The lease.
The white paper bluntly says it can make or break a sale. That sounds serious.
It absolutely is. The lease is fundamental. Its terms can heavily sway a buyer's decision.
How so?
A lease with bad conditions may be a really short term left, huge rent increases baked in, strict limits on transferring it. That can be a major deal breaker, full stop.
Okay, so what key aspects of the lease do owners need to review and ideally optimize well before they plan to sell?
First and foremost, negotiate that transferability clause. You need to ensure the lease can be smoothly assigned to a new owner.
Without crazy hoops to jump through.
Exactly. No unreasonable consent needed, no massive fees, no personal guarantees if possible. Then, stabilize the rent. Aim for predictable, fair terms for at least 3 to 5 years after the expected sale date.
So the buyer knows their costs.
Right. They need that certainty for projections. Also, clarify any potential fuzziness around parking for members, for staff, and clear, consistent access to the facility. These little operational details can become big sticking points if the lease isn't clear.
Got it. And the pro tip really drives it home. Buyers just walk away if the lease looks shaky or too restrictive.
It underlines just how vital getting the lease right is. Can't stress that enough.
Okay, let's shift focus now to the team, the people keeping the gym running day to day. The white paper emphasizes building a strong, independent team. Why is that so appealing to buyers?
Well, as Jim Thomas points out, most buyers aren't looking to buy themselves a 247 management job.
Right, they want an investment.
They want a business that can operate effectively without the original owner needing to be there constantly, directing traffic. A strong, well-trained, empowered team shows the business has solid systems and isn't just dependent on the owner's personal hustle.
So what are some practical strategies for cultivating that kind of self-sufficient team?
The paper recommends actively training staff for independence. Empower your managers, your team leads, let them handle day-to-day decisions.
Delegate effectively.
Exactly. Implement clear strategies to keep your top performers. Maybe offer stay bonuses that pay out after the sale, or structure some post-sale incentives. That's really attractive to a buyer worried about continuity.
Keeps the talent in place.
Right. And finally, thoroughly document your team structure. Detailed job descriptions, clear pay scales, training schedules. It gives transparency and clarity for the new owner, makes the transition way smoother.
It's all about creating a business that's not just successful now, but sustainable after you leave.
That's the investor mindset. A gym that runs well without constant owner involvement is inherently more valuable, less risky. Makes perfect sense.
Totally. Now, let's think about the actual handover. The white paper stresses planning for a smooth transition. Why is that so critical from a buyer's viewpoint?
Buyers crave stability and continuity. Simple as that.
Minimize disruption.
Exactly. They want to ensure existing members and staff stay loyal through the ownership change and beyond. A well-planned transition shows professionalism and seriously reduces the risk of losing valuable members or key staff during that handover period.
So what are some key elements for planning that seamless transition?
Jim Thomas suggests offering a defined period of support post-sale, usually 30 to 90 days.
Helping the new owner learn the ropes.
Yeah, help train them on your systems, introduce them to key people, ensures a smoother handover. Also, crucially, avoid making big changes, branding, software, pricing during the sale process.
Don't rock the boat.
Exactly. That just creates uncertainty and confusion. And proactively communicate. Reassure your members. Reassure your team about the transition. Build trust. Minimize anxiety.
It's about giving the buyer confidence they can take over without chaos, that the business will keep humming along.
Right. And that peace of mind that comes with a clean, planned transition makes your gym way more appealing.
Okay. Now, nobody navigates a business sale alone, right? The paper strongly emphasizes working with pros. Who should owners bring on board when they're seriously prepping for sale?
Yeah, Jim Thomas is very clear. Don't try to wing this yourself.
Get expert help.
Definitely. He recommends engaging a reputable gym business broker, someone with specific fitness industry experience. They get the nuances of valuing and selling gyms, and they have a network of potential buyers.
Makes sense. Who else?
Work closely with an experienced accountant. Get those financials impeccable. Find ways to maybe minimize tax hits, maximize reported profit. Absolutely crucial.
And legal.
Oh, for sure. A skilled attorney is essential. They handle drafting and reviewing contracts, non-competes, scrutinizing that lease transfer, navigating the buyer's due diligence, protects your interests, ensures it's all legally sound.
So, assembling your expert team.
Exactly. And the final takeaway here is powerful. Smart exit, you only sell your gym once, do it right. Really underlines why professional guidance is key.
Absolutely. Finally, the white paper wraps up with a really proactive message. Start early, stay consistent. How far ahead should an owner ideally start thinking about all this?
Jim Thomas really emphasizes this. The most successful sales, they often come from preparation starting 12, maybe even 24 months before listing.
A year or two out, wow.
Yeah, that longer time frame gives you ample runway to actually implement improvements, document everything properly, get those financials sparkling.
So this isn't something you can just cram in the last few weeks.
Definitely not. And the paper repeats.
Yeah.
Every little improvement you make, every process you clearly document, every bit of financial cleanup, it adds real, tangible value. And it broadens your pool of potential buyers.
Makes your gym more attractive to more people.
Exactly. And even if selling is years away, starting this stuff now, it doesn't just position you for a better sale later. It probably makes your gym run more efficiently and profitably right now.
It's a win-win, really.
Truly is.
Well, this has been an incredibly insightful deep dive into Jim Thomas's white paper. The main takeaway seems clear. Preparing your gym for sale, maximizing its value, it's a strategic, comprehensive process. Best results come from early, consistent effort across the whole business.
Absolutely. And the great thing about these insights, they aren't just for people planning to sell tomorrow.
Right. They apply even if you're not selling.
Anyone who wants a more robust, financially healthy, well-organized gym can benefit massively from these principles. A well-run, sound, maintained gym is just a valuable asset, period, regardless of your exit plan.
So, as you reflect on our chat today, here's something to think about. Which single area we discussed, if you consistently worked on it for the next 6 months, which one do you think would give your gym the biggest positive boost, whether you plan to sell next year or 10 years from now?
Good question.
What specific, actionable steps could you take to explore that further? It's definitely something worth mulling over long after this deep dive ends.
And hey, for those listening who really want to dig even deeper into this, Jim Thomas at Fitness Management Consulting is a fantastic resource.
Where can people find him?
His website is www.fmconsulting.net. Phone is 214-629-7223. Or email jthomas@fmconsulting.net. He really knows this stuff inside out.